Now, when we move on to dictionaries, assume that dictionaries are similar to sets. It has same syntax, but key feature added to these dictionaries. Imagine that just set stores the values, whereas dictionary stores the key value pairs. Let me show you that. Now, when it comes to dictionaries, these are similar to sets. If you observe the syntax, they are similar. But what is the key difference between sets and dictionary is that here another value key is added. A dictionary is going to consist key value pairs, whereas sets only contain values. Dictionaries contain key value pairs. And what is the difference of properties? Dictionaries are unordered key value pairs, which are mutable. That means values and the keys inside the dictionary can be changed, right? And key must be unique. These are the properties of dictionaries. Just remember this. Key must be unique. Now, when we move on to code, dictionary stores data as key value pairs that are unordered, mutable, and fast enough to retrieve. Now, observe the structure of the dictionary. I have created a dictionary called my data, wherein I have assigned two values, that is name and role as keys, and I'm assigning name key to a value called Shiva, which is my name, and the role as coder, right? When I print this output, you can see that name, role, and coder. You observe that these all are in string format. Observe this, the key and values are in string format. You can also give it as one to a numeric value, but as we are using the strings, we will also get output as string value. When it comes to accessing elements of the dictionary, similar to sets, you might say that Shiva, we cannot access individual elements of sets, right? But as the dictionary has a unique component called key, we can use this key to access the values of the particular key. So, so this is how we are going to do that. Now I am writing my data. I want to access particular data from my data, right? I will specify the data which I want to retrieve in a square braces, right? That means I need to know the key of the particular value which I want to retrieve, right? Now I want to retrieve name, role present in my data, right? Let me run this. We got an output as Shiva and coder, which were the values of the keys, right? Which were the values of the key. What if I try to access the key which is not present in the dictionary? It is obviously going to give us an error. Now, as we see that class key is not present in the dictionary that we initialized here, right? So we got an error. Now, in this case, we can access the element safely using this notation. My data, I want to access the data from my data dictionary dot get function. See, remember this dot get attribute and the value that you want to retrieve. This is the technique that we use. Now it is going to give us none. Generally, by default, the get value will give us the output if it is present in the dictionary, or it gives us output as none. If you want to give any specific output, if the data is not present, you can just assign it here. I want to give it as 0. If I don't find any data that I am searching in the dictionary, I just want to give output as 0. Now, by default, it was giving none. Now, let us check what it is going to give us. Sorry. Yeah, I should enter this in, I should enter this inside the get function. Now, see this? Shiva, coder, and none. Because get function did not find any key called slash, it is going to give us output as 0. Right? Now, when it comes to updating of a dictionary, here you can just access the value that I want to update. That is, I want to change the name present in my data to speak code. I just access that using key name. Now updating the value present in the dictionary to speak code. Now when I print name, it should be updated to speak code, right? Let me do this. My underscore data, Did you see that? It is updated. Now let me also print the dictionary. You will get an idea. My underscore data. See that? Now name is assigned to a value, speak code, and role is as coder. Now what if I want to add a new element after its initialization? Because dictionary is mutable, so we can add or remove any key from the dictionary. Now when it comes to adding, what I will do is that I have created a new key called grade and assigning it value as A. Now I have assigned key and value in my dictionary. So a new data is going to be recorded. Now I will just print the dictionary. Observe this. Now our dictionary is updated with a new key and value called grade and A, right? Now you want to initialize a dictionary with some default values assigned to particular keys. You will generally use this technique when you are doing some competitive programming. These functions are going to help you a lot because currently I am also working on some data structures in Python where I am using these functions very much. These are very much handy for me. So you can observe I am using a keyword called dict, right? Dict dot from keys. Just remember this notation. Whenever you want to create keys with same default value, I want to initialize keys with its value as zero, wherein I am going to use that later on in my logic. So every key should be assigned to a value zero at initial stage. I just use this function dict dict keyword and its attribute from keys. I'm assigning all the keys to it. If I print D, it should give us output as A assigned to 0, 0 is assigned to B, and 0 is assigned to C. So every key is initialized with the value 0. Now later I can use it to increment or to calculate particular frequencies, right? So this function is going to be very handy. Remember this dict dot from keys and the keys you want to create or initialize and the value that you want to assign. Now, these are the useful methods that you are going to come across when you are discussing about dictionaries, right? Let me go through one by one. Keys, values, items, get. As we already finished the get function, you might have some basic idea, right? Now, pop. I will just explain it here itself. Now, generally, what get function do? It retrieves a particular element safely, right? Similarly, pop function. Here you can observe pop and the key that you enter is going to remove a particular entry. That means it is going to remove the key and the value that you have assigned to pop function. I will just show you this example. Here, let me do this. Where is the example? Yeah. What I will do is that I'll just copy paste this and change this to right. I'm just storing this into student and just available. I'm just initializing the dictionary, right? I just initialize the student dictionary with name and the role. Now here comes the first method called keys. Keys, values, and items, right? These are the key features of dictionary. You are going to use these dictionaries in your programming world very extensively because these dictionaries act as a JSON files wherein you are going to use this JSON to communicate between your server and client. Like the front end and the back end communication is going to done through this JSON format. So learn these functionalities of dictionaries so that you don't face any problem while you are dealing with that. Now, when I do this, like student dot keys, I am going to get all the keys that are present in a dictionary. That means it is going to give us output as name, role, all the keys that dictionary contain. Now, similarly, when I do student dot values, it is going to give me the values that keys assign, not the actual keys. That means I'll only get all the values, wherein dot keys gives only keys. Let me comment this out and run this output. See? dict keys, name and role. Is that correct? Right. Name and role. Now, what are the values? Shiva and coder in a list format, right? You can access these through index. When a situation comes wherein you want to access the key and values separately, right? I want both keys and values. Now, in this situation, I use dot items where it gives us key and values in a tuple format. That means packed format where we need to unpack it to use it, right? Student dot items. Just remember these keywords. You are going to use this very, very much in your journey. So just remember these keywords. Key, values, and items. You will just remember these keys and values, but you are going to forget these dot items. So just stress these dot items. That's it. Dot items is going to give us both key and value pairs in a packed format. That is in tuple format. See that name, key, and value is stored in a tuple. Similarly, role and the folder value is stored in a tuple. Now, how are you going to use this packed one? You got items dot you got all the items from the student dictionary, right? But it is in a packed format. How you are going to use how you are going to use this packed data? Here we use functionalities of for loop. I think you remember the for loop, right? If you don't remember the concepts of for loop, just revise these through the card which is shown above. Just click on that and revise the concept and come back here. There is no problem at all. Now, if you observe, I'm using the same functionality, same method. Here I'm using the same method called student dot items, which gives me a packed form of keys and values. Now I'm separating them. I'm unpacking them like key comma value in student dot items. Print key colon value. For every package, it is going to unpack the values and print the output. See, name, Shiva, role coder. This is the output, right? We are going to extend the concept of dictionaries to nested dictionaries because when it comes to structuring data, dictionary is a king in that because we are going to use these dictionaries very much. Like it has powerful key value concept where we generally use these to retrieve data that we generally want in a time complexity of big O of 1. That means it is going to just instantly retrieve the data. Whereas list and tuples are going to take a lot of time to traverse the list and retrieve the element, where this is minimized through dictionaries. Now, I have a dictionary called school where I have assigned key values as student 1 and student 2. And each student has a data stored in a dictionary format that is name and marks. That means I'm storing a database of school, right? Generally, what school database stores profiles of students, where each profile of student is going to contain some values like name, marks, and all, right? Now, I'm just replicating that here. I have a school database that is dictionary, wherein I have two student data, name and marks. As we have a nested dictionaries, we have to access the values using two keys. Observe this. The first key is the student, and the second key is the value that I want to retrieve. Now, school, that is the main dictionary, and the student one, and the name of the student, and student one, and the marks of the student. Right? If I print, I am going to get the name and the marks of the student. But what if I want raw data of particular student? I just do this. Like only give key as student one. Now it is going to give me entire data about student one, like name John and marks 85. Now, as you observed and understand the concepts of sets and dictionaries, I want you to just try this real world exam. Now you are going to learn a lot by doing these problems. Believe in me. Because I have designed this problem in such a way that it combines the concepts of sets and dictionaries. And I believe that you are going to have some fun doing this. So Just read this out, and if you are not able to understand or do this problem, feel free to use ChatGPT. But for the first time, you have to try it, right? Now, let me summarize all the data structures that we have discussed here, right? Just recall the data structures that we have discussed. First, list, second, tuple, and the third, sets, and the fourth one is dictionary, right? Now, what is the difference among these four data structures? Their properties. Now, so we have to observe their properties. Now, what are the three main properties of these data structures? Ordered, mutable, and it contains duplicates or not. It can be accessed using key, accessed using indexes or not. And the use case where we need to use a particular data. So just understand this summary table. You will be able to use these data structures efficiently anywhere in your programs. So now list is ordered, mutable, and allows duplicate, and it also can be accessed using index, right? This all concepts we discussed it. We are just revising, right? Now list is ordered, mutable, duplicates, and can be accessed using index. This is the simplest form of data structure. And where you will use it? Collection of similar items, right? You can also collect items of different data types. You can make a collection of int, float, and string using list, right? When it comes to tuple, the properties of tuple are like this: ordered, mutable. No, tuple is not mutable, right? Ordered, not mutable, and allows duplicates, and can be accessed using indexes similar to list. Now, where will you use this? When you are dealing with fixed data and return multiple values, right? Like list, tuple is more faster than list in retrieving. We generally prefer using tuple in case of retrieving over list. So return multiple values. Now, when it comes to set is unordered, mutable, and the unique factor of set is it does not allow duplicate. That means it is going to give us the unique element from a particular list or a tuple. So where are you going to use this set? So when you are dealing with unique elements, so you just use this set. Now, when it comes to dictionary, I just googled it. Dictionary is ordered since Python 3.7. So uh, remember that dictionary is an ordered because it can be accessed using key. We cannot say that it is unordered, right? Yet dictionaries are not able to access using index, but dictionary is ordered due to its its unique feature called key value pairs, right? So dictionary is ordered, mutable, and does not have any duplicate keys, right? Values can be duplicate, but keys cannot be duplicate, right? Mapping relations. Where are you going to use this? Whenever you want to map a particular relation, like with student profile, as we observed here, student one with student profile. We are mapping student one to his profile, right? So we generally use dictionaries in case of mapping. Now I just want to highlight a key feature of sets and dictionary. As I said, these dictionaries and sets are same. What most beginners think that sets and dictionaries are totally different things. But generally, a set is literally just a dictionary. But as I said, set contains only the values, whereas dictionaries contain key value pairs. Why I'm saying this? Because Python uses hash table for both sets and dictionaries under the hood, right? Hash table is an advanced data structure than these four default data structures, where these sets and dictionaries are using this hash table to store and retrieve data, where this hash table helps them look up any particular data instantly with a time complexity of big of 1, right? No matter how big the data gets, but the time complexity of retrieving particular element is going to be the same. Similarly, when in case of searching a particular element in a list, where as list grows, the time taken to search a particular element also increases. But in case of sets and dictionaries, whatever may be the size of database or a data structure, it may be 10 items or 10 million items. It is going to take the same amount of time where it takes time of retrieving a single element, right? So this is the secret identity of these sets and dictionaries. I'm dropping some practice tasks which will enhance your learning. It also covers the problems using loops and all the previous concepts that we have learned. So I prefer you to do these practice problems before moving on to the next concept. If you understood the basic concepts of sets, dictionaries, tuples, and lists, just click on this video to learn next concept, that is functions. Until then, this is SP signing off.